Okay guys, today I'm going to do not really a review but just kind of a field test, a use test type thing on a new knife that I picked up. The new knife, it's on my hip right now, hopefully you guys can see that. I'm filming with my phone, so it's the BlackJack Model 5 Commando. Just a beautiful, beautiful knife. You can see that. Hopefully you can. Okay, but that's the knife we're going to take a look at today. Some preliminary thoughts that some of you guys will have is a tactical knife. You know, and tactical gets thrown around a lot, but I'm talking like fighting and legitimately killing people. So I'm not advocating that, but armed services and stuff like that, in certain circumstances, they do, hand-to-hand combat, knife fighting, stuff like that. That's what this knife is designed for. So, some of you guys, kind of the like bushcraft purists and stuff like that, you guys are probably turning this video off right now, and I'd recommend you just watch the whole video. I've already played around with this a little bit, and I was quite surprised. So, you can see aluminum guards, very comfortable handle. What I like to do with knives is squeeze them super hard, and I've had knives in the past, fixed blade knives, that the handles are simple, whether they're Micarta G10, whatever, but it's just not comfortable. This one, you can see, is a little narrower. It flares out and then it gets narrow again, and then it, so it's pretty much kind of cylindrical all the way around, but this thing is super comfortable. It has the stacked leather handle. It might not be as practical as the Micarta. They make Micarta options too, and then some fancy like stag and exotic woods and stuff like that. I got the leather for the looks mostly. So it is a little more maintenance. It can absorb water and stuff like that, but maintenance isn't that big of a deal. It has the aluminum guards here, the double guards. The other thing I like is the reverse grip is just as comfortable, if not more. So if you're doing a jabbing cut and then like an upstroke or something like that, and you can do that same thing. You can put your index finger on the other side of the guard, and you can get up close to your body, and you can do carving in kind of a reverse grip. So I'm going to change the camera around, and we're going to test this baby out. So right off the bat, I want to say this knife isn't really designed for like carving and stuff like that. Like I said, it's more of a stabbing implement, a dagger, a tactical or a fighting or a defensive knife. But I mean, a knife's a knife, I like to say. So, a Leatherman, it's not designed for defense purposes, it's designed for utility, the knife of a Leatherman. But if that's all you're carrying that day, quite possibly you might have to use that in a defensive role. Conversely with this, if this is what you're carrying, more for a self-defense, zombie apocalypse or something like that, but you do have to carve, you do have to get some fire tinder, you do have to carve tent pegs, or you just want to carve just for fun or whatever, this is maybe the knife you got to use. So first, like I said, I'm going to choke up a little bit. Oh man. It is a convex grind. I don't know if I said that. A2 tool steel. The overall blade length is 5.5, but the cutting edge is about 4.5. I think it's about 10.5 inches overall. So that makes the handle about 5 inches long. Oh man, this is actually the first time I've gotten it on wood. And man, this thing is awesome. I wasn't expecting it to be this good. Holy crap. I don't know the wood. It's probably a popple or maybe I'm guessing it's like popple. It's moderately dry. It's not green whatsoever, but it's oh man, this thing rocks. I will say when I got it, it's razor sharp. Well, when I first got it, I was doing some just tinkering around with it, so it's not as sharp as when I first got it. So now I'm going to hold it in. I was holding it like this. I'm just going to hold it like this. See if we can remain and get that same control. Ooh, that's almost easier. I really like that convex grind. Convex is actually one of my favorite blade grinds. You know, everyone has a preference. I think all blade grinds work just fine. It's more the user. But on a personal level, I really like convex ground knives. Ooh, that's nice. So now, another thing you can do is you can put your thumb up here. So I'll try that. Pretty comfortable. And that's and that's the thing to keep in mind too. I got this knife purely for aesthetics. I like the kind of Randall design, Randall inspired fighting knife. A fighting knife that also looks really classic. You know, I got this mostly as a showpiece, mostly just something like a conversation piece to hang on the wall. You know, to have on the fireplace mantle, something like that. But man, I mean, a lot of people won't look at this knife and think like Woods blade, but um, and I mean, you can't every single knife that you like, well, depending on your income, but every single knife that you like, you can't just automatically go out and buy. I understand, you know, a lot of people there's financial aspects, but I I like this one, and you know, so I got it, and to tell you the truth, I wasn't expecting a lot. You know, um, I'll talk about that more in the tabletop, but what I paid for this, kind of funny story. I'll get to it a little later on, but I got this for a steal. I, in essence, I almost stole this. I'll explain the full story in a little bit. So they make a Model 7, 7-inch blade. This I got is a 5.5-inch blade. 4.5 to 5.5-inch blades, maybe even up to 6-inch, is my preference for all knives. For like fixed blade knives. So like the SE6, one of my favorite knives, not including the Chol. That is a 5 3/4 inch knife. Personally, like the K-bar type size knives, the 7-inch and whatnot. I don't. I don't prefer those because they can span a little bit longer woods to batten it, but besides that, they're too cumbersome. Personally, maybe it's for my hand size. I can be just as delicate with a 5-inch or 5.5-inch blade as I can with a 3.5 or 4-inch blade, and then I get slightly more span width if I want to batten this, which I'll do in a second. So that's why I picked this one. People that prefer larger knives could certainly go up and get the Model 7-1 or 7 Model 7, something like that. People that prefer slightly smaller, I think they make a Model 4, and that has like a 4.5-inch, so it's about an inch shorter blade. I kind of picked the Goldilocks, the Model 5, and I am super pleased. So pretty nice there. Probably start a fire, even though I'm inside. I mean, as long as you're safe, it's fine. I'll just do some heavier cuts on this one. This thing, I'm not putting that much effort actually. Starting to like this one more than my SE6. So you can see these are really thick. I was just bearing down, and then this is some finer fuzz sticks there. So this isn't designed for batoning. No knife really is, but some do it better than others. Pretty much what batoning is you put the blade here and you strike on the tip. Why I say this one isn't really designed for it, no knife really is, but it starts at a little thicker than 3/16 of an inch, but then it tapers down here. So it will tear up your baton is what I'm saying, but and again, this is some maple here, so it's pretty hard stuff. Stuff I'm actually going to bring in after this and start up the fireplace because it's one strike Betty. One thing to keep in mind too with this convex is the blade doesn't receive that much stress because once it makes contact, the shoulders, this convex kind of protects the blade, so the blade really isn't in contact, or at least it's not bearing a lot of the stress as it's going through the wood. So that will just lead to your blade staying sharper longer. So if you need to like take a lot of material off a chunk of wood, what I did here is I just stabbed this in, okay, like that, and you can do this into a stump, into a down tree, the side of a log and stuff like that, but what I like about this, especially if you have a flat surface like a stump, is all your shavings are going to stay right here. And you can see you control the angle, so pretty much the more force you put in and the steeper the angle, the more material you take off.
Conversely, if you go slow and you get the angle right, we'll try right here. You can get some fine stuff going on. You could do feather sticks. A lot of people are like obsessed with feather sticking. The thing is, if you have a flat surface, or hell, the other thing you can do too, just put your hat right here, right? And then, here, we'll do it this way. So you stick your hat on the ground like this. One benefit of wearing a hat, get your chunk of wood, and you don't gotta worry. You know, everyone is obsessed with all the feather staying on the stick, and certainly, especially in windy conditions, you know, you don't got all your shavings blowing around. But the hat, I should actually be doing this outside because it's windy right now, but the hat makes a wall, okay? So it's a bowl, but then it also protects it from the wind. So all you're concerned about is carving. Doesn't matter. Some might stay on the stick, and then I'm intentionally making it fall off to prove a point. But I'll pull some fat wood out in a second. And as you can see, in no time, all you do is empty the hat. You got a nice pile of dry material. Now, what you can do, now I got some fat wood, I'll just make a separate pile over here real quick. So, this little pile of fat wood, a little bit goes a long way. Okay, and then just to piss the haters off, the trusty Bic that doesn't work in cold weather. It's probably about 30 degrees in the shop right now. Light up one piece of fat wood, maybe another. That was just a simple test of the knife, showing you don't have to make a feather stick. As long as you wear a baseball cap or a boonie hat or whatever, cowboy hat, whatever, you just collect your shavings in the hat. When you're ready, you dump it, you get some fat wood or whatever, and you go to town. Burn, baby, burn. That feels good. Okay, guys, that was just a quick down and dirty. I don't call them reviews. I just use the knife, see how it works. It'd be silly for me to review this, when you only own it for a week or a month. A lot of my knives I haven't done reviews on because, I've owned them for say 5 years, 6 years, stuff like that. Yeah, and I probably should because I've used them a lot. It's kind of that proverb, beware of the man with one gun because he probably knows how to use it. If a guy claims to be a knife reviewer and he has 1,000 knives, maybe I'm exaggerating, say 300 knives, 200, even 100 knives, 50 knives, and it sounds like an exaggeration, but there's a lot of guys out there that have tons and tons of knives. Even if they use a knife every single day, I'll be honest, I don't have that many knives, but I've used the hell out of all of them. So just something to keep in mind. If there's a guy that claims to have or not millions, but lots and lots and lots of knives. And he's doing a review on it 2 months after he buys it, and he's like, "Yeah, I've been using this every single day for 2 months or whatever." Like, really, how much do you use that knife? But um, this was just a quick use test of the BlackJack knives, Model 5 Commando. The Commando, forgot to say this, the Commando just denotes this handle design. You can get a standard leather grip that instead of tapering back down, it just starts small and constantly gets bigger and bigger. I got the Commando. Real quick, I'll tell you the funny story I was talking about. Um, I was looking at these on multiple sites. DLT Trading, Knife Ship Free, Blade HQ, GP Knives, I think, and Knife Center. Like 6 different online knife stores. Pretty common ones. And I shop a lot on Amazon, but like when it comes to knives and whatnot, I like supporting legitimate knife shops, so I don't buy knives on Amazon. So I was looking around, and I was seeing, um, the price on this varying between $160 up to $200, which for a knife of this quality, from the maker and everything, 160, 170, even $200. I don't think that's that bad of a deal. I think that's a pretty good deal. Um, and just for the hell of it, I mean, I was about to, I forget which store, but I had it in the cart. I was about to check out. I'm like, I'm just going to see if these are even for sale on Amazon. So I checked out Amazon, and I saw this exact model, the one I was looking at. I'm going to roll a screenshot in real quick. So I got this for, I think, right at $100, $99, $101 or some dollars. So this knife for $100 is an amazing deal, right? Here's the funny part. 2 days later, I was like, I hadn't even received this knife yet. I was just going around on Amazon. I'm like, I'll go look at the other knives for sale by BlackJack Knives on Amazon. I kid you not, a day or two after I bought it for $103 or $101, checked Amazon out, it was $163. The next day, it was like $180. The day after that, it was like $120. So my recommendation, it can be beneficial or it can suck, but if you are going to buy it on Amazon, put it in your cart and every day check it, because one day it could be $90 and the next day it could be $180, literally double the price. Just totally luck of the draw. When I searched for it on Amazon, it happened to be $100. But with that being said, I'd pay $200 for this easy. The quality, I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty because I don't think it's important, but everything's superbly finished. The blade was razor sharp, and it feels sharper actually now. The blade's still sharp, A2 tool steel. I think they sharpened it to 59 Rockwell, made in the USA. But everything about it, there was no imperfections. The sheath, real quick, awesome. It says crafted by Sharpshooter Sheath Systems, made in the USA. Something else too. These hole spacings are designed for like a tech lock or another type of belt attachment. I'll probably just use a belt loop. The knife fitment, when I first got it, it was really tight, but just sheathing and resheathing, it's easy now. So it has some retention, but it's not hard whatsoever. It sits in there just fine. Snaps, it's not going anywhere. Okay. Some people like Kydex. Some people like leather. Most of my knives have Kydex sheaths because I make Kydex sheaths. So, if I have a choice, I'll pick a leather sheath because I don't do leather work. I'll pick a leather sheath and then I'll make kydex for it. So in the future, I might shoot an update video or something like that showing you the kydex sheath. I'm already designing a kydex sheath for this, but so I like the leather. It's not as good in wet weather and stuff like that, but it's way more classy. Um, take it for what it is. One cool thing, and I was reading some reviews, not on this, but this is a design they use on multiple knives. People were saying that like this whole thing's funky, right? What this allows is you unsnap the knife and you swing it back and it stows the strap. So then that way when you're unsheathing it, if that wasn't there, that strap would be in the way and you could possibly cut it off. So you just fling it up and it stores right in there. And then you stick it in. It has some holes for like doing a lashing around your leg. I don't get into all that goofy stuff. But the sheath, I'm not I'm not a super picky person and I'm not a leather person, but I don't know, there's nothing bad, there's no imperfections or anything like that. But somebody with more leather experience, might be able to be more nitpicky with it, so to speak. I'm more concerned about the knife. Like I said, A2 tool steel, I believe 59 Rockwell, has a lanyard. This is aluminum, full tank construction. The blade, the overall blade is right under 5.5 inches, but the cutting edge is 4.5. These are semi-custom or semi-production, whatever you want to say. So each knife could be a little bit different, but the overall from guard to tip is a little under 5.5, and then the cutting edge is right at 4.5. Like I said, this is like a tactical or a fighting or a armed forces knife, or I don't know how you categorize it, but it's literally designed for stabbing people and for knife fighting and stuff like that. But I mean, any knife, like I was saying, I want it to be able to run the whole gamut. So some of those like quote unquote bushcrafting knives, they don't have any guard and whatnot, and they have maybe micarta handles or something like that polished micarta handles, which they say is grippy when wet, but if your hand's covered in blood and stuff like that, and you need to stab someone or something, your hand's going to run over that blade. So that was just a quick use of the BlackJack Model 5.